Hey YouTube, it's Zurius here. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about dimethyltryptamine or DMT. I'd like to share with you my first experience with DMT. It was a natural experience, and it was one of the most memorable experiences that I've ever had with it. And it was 25 years ago, and I can still, when I close my eyes, I can still see some of the imagery to this day. Um, Very cool. Um, at that age, and I was right around 13 years old when it happened. I had it wasn't a huge thing, and initially I thought maybe it was just something that everyone did, and I was late bloomer. But then as I asked, friends and family members maybe about it, I slowly realized that this isn't something that people know a lot about at all whatsoever. They're just clueless, and at that time period, we didn't have the internet, and you had your local library, and information was very few and far between, and very limited, if at all. Um, so it was tough to get answers at that age, and I had a lot of them. And the more I did it, and the more things that I seen, the more I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Um, yeah, um, interesting stuff. I started putting a lot more stuff together once the internet was invented and information became available. I started learning more and more about it, but nobody just like spit it out. It was always, the key to enlightenment, and it was always on a spiritual plane. And they weren't talking in plain English. It was like you had to read between the lines, kind of thing. And I just wanted somebody to spit it the fuck out. And so once the spirit molecule came out, that was a definite. That was some good information. They gave it a name, and I hadn't done that. So now I knew what the core of the substance was. I kind of had a good idea of what was going on. Um, and then once people started coming on YouTube with their videos and experiences, it was very entertaining, to say the least. Here I am wanting to discuss the subject most of my life with people and have a conversation about it, and nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. And so it's been very entertaining for me to watch people experience this for the first time, to get their feedback on it. I've thought many of your thoughts. It seems to be different stages that maybe people go through, and I've been through some of these stages. You first start out with kind of the awe. You get into the whole, you know there's different stages that you go through, and it's kind of fun to watch people at some of these stages. I haven't had any real frightening experiences with it because my experiences were natural. But I will tell you, even doing it natural, even the first time that I broke through, um, the one of the things that got into my head while I was there was, I shouldn't be here, and I'm going to die. This is death. I'm already dead, and I'm not. I'm done. I thought I had fucking died, um, completely. Um, and that doesn't go away, by the way. For some reason, dying, always seems to linger in the back of your head. And I've never been able to make it go away. But all I've been able to do with it is just say, fuck it. If I die, I die. I'm going either way. And that's how I got, through that. It's just to not really give a shit. Because if you start getting scared you're going to die, then you might not have a good experience if you're smoking it. And if you're doing it naturally, start thinking that you're going to die, you're going to break contact, basically. It's going to slip through your fingers. And it's very hard to hold on to. Um, you know, uh, Doing it naturally is very intermittent. In my experiences, could be once a week, could be twice a month, it could be only once a year. You know, I mean, it's all over the place for whatever the reason. It's very intermittent, and I don't know if that has to do with what your levels of DMT are, because I think they fluctuate. It could be on based on diet or sleep patterns, or somehow or another, some people build up high amounts of it in their system. And if you're at the right place and at the right time, and you're, relaxing in your bed, and you close your eyes, and do a little bit of breathing, sometimes it opens right up. Other times you're doing it and you're trying to get there and get there, and it's very discouraging because it just doesn't happen. And you feel kind of cheated and robbed over it. So if you're trying to do it naturally, it's like, I look at it like, playing the lottery. If you don't play, you can't win. You know what I mean? And so you have to play the odds. Um, maybe you're the type of person that just doesn't build up high enough amounts. I wish I could tell you, the secret to having high DMT in your body, because I don't know what it is. I've never been able to figure it out, and I've been trying to figure it out for fucking a long, long time. Um, but I think there might be a higher reason why people can't do it all the time, or do it at will, or do it every day. People might not want to, if you live a very lonely life and you don't have lots of friends and things like that, you might not ever want to come out of it. And so that's not why we're here. We're not here to be there. We're here to be here. And so it's, I mean, this life and this dimension, and has a lot to offer us. It might suck sometimes, but we're here to be here. But it's good to know what there is. It keeps you very open-minded. So you don't get sucked into too many one ways of thinking. And when it comes to doing it naturally or smoking it, whatever you're shown or whatever you see, whatever you think, and however it affects you, always take things with a grain of salt. This is a completely new frontier. Well, it's not new. It's been around for thousands of years, but it's new to us. As far as space and time goes, it's very new to at least us. So I think smoking it is, it's good in the sense that it allows people to experience that place when they normally wouldn't know how to get there or even try. And so it's an eye opener for people when they smoke it. And I think it can be a good thing, but the difference between smoking it and doing it naturally is smoking it. It's more just force fed down you. You can't shut it off, kind of thing. When you do it naturally, it's very hard to get there, and it's very hard to hold on to on top of that. So I mean, if things don't go right, or you get a little scared, I mean, you can shut it off in the blink of an eye. It's gone, and it's hard to get back at that point. The boat has sailed. It's see ya. And maybe we'll get there in another month. And when you smoke it, you just got to hang on tight. If things aren't going well, it's just too fucking bad. So I think there's a reason why we can't do it all the time, and I think people should respect that when it comes to smoking it. Smoking it gives you the ability to do it all the time, but that don't necessarily mean that's how it's supposed to be. And if you are smoking it all the time, and you happen to have a more darker bad trip, that's just it's telling you, hey, you need to back the fuck up from this, and you need to wait until it's time again, and that might be once a year for you, or less, or maybe more. But I think another key to being able to go more often is to apply what you've been shown or what you've learned. Apply it. If it's good information, then fucking do it. accomplish it, and then when you're done, go back again. I think it's kind of like, here, do this, and then if you don't, then I think things might not be as pleasant for you while you're there. There's nothing worse than turning down bad information. And if you have a bad experience smoking it, you'll never have a bad experience doing it naturally. It's just not going to happen. But if you have a bad experience smoking it, there might be an underlying reason why that is, and you should, maybe talk to a therapist, or a counselor. Maybe you should get at the root of why maybe you didn't have a good experience. There might be something else going on there that you just simply need to address. And it's because, maybe that world wants you back. It wants you to come back and visit. But in order to do that, you're going to have to maybe get your shit together a little bit, and grow mentally stronger. So even a bad trip could be very, very good advice. It could be some of the best advice, even more so than a good trip. So don't look at it as a bad thing. Just explore and think deeply about it. What does it mean? So, all right. Well, that's all I've got to say about DMT for right now. If you guys got any questions, ask them. Love to hear your comments. Be safe. Take it easy. Later.